Aloha Aina. Aloha Aina. Good morning, family. It's 10:40 here on Maui. 10:40 in the morning. It was just 10:33. 10:33 is a healing code that I see. And whenever I made the post, it was 10:33, and I thought, oh, this is going to be a nice healing post. So I want to do an energy clearing, open up the channel and see what comes through to help like clear and amplify. And I also, but before that, I wanted to speak on something that I posted last night. Last night I made a post that we're all still communicating on this morning, and I was feeling really heavy energy, and I felt so disappointed with humanity. I felt disappointed as a human, being a human. I felt sadness and I felt pissed off, and it's because it's all derived from love. Because when there's so much love innate in all of us, and so when something pulls us out of that love or pulls us from into a different frequency, that's when these other emotions come up. And I wrote this post about how I was just so tired. I'm tired of humans being nasty to each other. I'm tired of seeing the displays of all these rumors and all this craziness all over the internet. It's disappointing, because it's like in the light of all this major shift stuff that we're going on in humanity, humans are feeding into that energy and continuing to amplify the signal of deceit and disharmony with each other. And it's gross. Energetically, it feels disgusting to the body. This isn't like on a personal, emotional level. I don't attach like that to human emotion, like I've moved past the need to like argue with people, shame people, and guilt people because of how they're displaying their own emotions. I hold space. I understand. Fear drives a lot of deceit and disharmony. That's why love doesn't. Yet it seems to be all connected in this human experience. We all like to think it's all just love and light, but really it's much more than that. So many people on my posts were like, Lori, focus on the light, stay positive, be careful. It's like, I am the light. You're the light. I already know that. But it's like when we come to express the realness, the truthfulness of the parasite living in all of our consciousness, then people are like, ooh, I can't go there. It starts to trigger something within them that starts this vibration that they have to retreat. It's called fear, programming. And the thing is that when we stop for a moment to address that that's a reality, we can move past it. Instead of continuing to ignore and ignore and ignore the emotional parasite that lives within us all. It's embedded in us. We literally are born knowing how to do it. You can look at babies. Babies, before they can even speak, know how to display behaviors of hiding and hoarding. It's the truth. All you have to do is watch. So, knowing this fact means that we can shift and redirect the energy. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It doesn't have to be this heavy thing. It means we don't have to continue to display it to each other. All the racism, all the hoarding, all of this like emotional, cognitive dissonance is like, hello, you know what I mean? Like, we're all feeling it, man. We all feel the same things. That's what's so interesting to me about humanity, is we have all these stories that we tell ourselves and we tell other people that keep us divided when we're all the same. We're all feeling the same thing. We all want to be happy. We all want to be healthy. We all want to feel good in our body. We all want to be abundant. Yet we're like not paying attention to one another because we're not paying attention to ourselves. Emotional intelligence change comes from within. all this virus stuff, all this war stuff, all this whatever's going on, that's a tool for humanity to look outside of themselves and to place blame onto other people. It's like, whoa, 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 yo, when is the change coming from you? What are you doing to change it, right? Instead of like spreading all this news, right? All the truth, the untruths were being told in the media, all this stuff. It's like it's just a spiraling loop of bullshit. Yet, here we are. We're all on lockdown. We're all like looking at the internet and the TV box to tell us what to do next, right? At some point, the people are going to like do what they need to do for themselves. Or, you know, I mean, you can only take so much pressure in one environment before that pressure blows. And that happens in the human vessel also. This is a microcosm of an experience that's happening around all these other microcosms of experience. You can only hide the fakeness for so long because it's going to come to light. That's why lies don't work. Lies come out to show the truth because that's the way it is. It boils up to the top. So it's like when there's an emotion in there and it's not being worked on and it's just festering and festering, guess what? It's going to explode. It's going to come to the top, just like a volcano. All that magma and liquid hot rock underneath the earth, it's got to have a place to come out. The pressure of the heat rises to the top. And so all of this stuff now is happening super divinely. It's not a bad thing. It's changing humanity. And I'm interested to see exactly what's going to come out of it. Are we going to go back to that old routine of just like going to work and eating fast food and stepping over homeless people on the sidewalk and not giving a fuck about one another? That's what I'd like to know, because it happened after 9/11. So it's like, wow, do we need to wait on another catastrophe to come in to bring us close together again? What is that? What is being a human? What is planet Earth? Is it all about destruction and deceit and we're just here trying to survive? Is that it? Because if that's the reality, then, you know, that's the reality. I've come to understand to accept things as they are. So I've come to accept it that that is a huge aspect of being a human. And it's given me a lot of peace because it's like, okay, I realize that a lot of humanity is this way, so that allows me to create the space that brings me peace and for those around me. Instead of like fighting this big, like whatever's going on out there, it's like, whoa, let me just work on me and my own community and my environment and see what we can do to change things. Instead of continuing to perpetuate the dis-ease of hate and greed and lack of compassion within each other. It's gross. It doesn't feel good in the vessel to the body. It creates dis-ease, disease, literally. Emotions create vibration of acidity in the body. We all know this. If you don't, research. It shows it. So when we like can stop ignoring that fact, it's like, is that enough to create a higher resonance of vibration in humans so that we can be compassionate? Or are we still going to continue to do the like mindless things that we do, like drinking all this alcohol, smoking all this tobacco, and treating each other like crap, and using all these resources that we don't need, and like all of this stuff? But yet humans will complain and complain about they hate their lives and how they hate each other and that they hate the government. But it's like, you're buying it. You're buying into it all by not changing it. At least that's the way it feels to me. Because as I've become disassociated with that spectrum, I've been able to find a lot more peace because now I make my own choices. I'm making choices on how to better my life and how to eat better and feel better and work on my body and create longevity, instead of like, oh, I have all these problems, so I need to go to the doctor and take all these pills and go eat all this food that isn't healthy and all of this stuff. There's so much illusion. And I get it. It's all been programmed. It's not anyone's fault. When we stop feeling shame and guilt around the things and the way that they have been, we can move past it. We don't have to feel shame and guilt about anything. That's the beauty. It doesn't have to be this shameful thing. We can just go, oh, I realize these patterns of behavior are not healthy for me. These patterns of behavior are not healthy for the people around me. I'd like to feel better, so I'm going to change that. It seems pretty easy. It seems pretty easy to have that realization, and then the process of elimination and creating begins. And that's a pretty brutal path, because self-realization is ugly. Awakening is not unicorns and rainbows. It's all of it. It's the raw, it's the real, it's authentic, it's all of it. And that's what pushes people away when we shine the light and tell the truth, because it infiltrates into the consciousness of those that are like stuck. And I know I was a stuck one too. I got activated and now I'm talking about this stuff, and I'm very grateful for that. Doesn't make me better than anyone else. I don't ride a high horse or put myself on a pedestal, because I have compassion for myself. Therefore, I have it for other people. It's called love. It's not hate. I love myself, therefore I love others. I don't need to have this ego, therefore I don't need to have it with other people. I don't need to compete with you. I'm not trying to fulfill some facade within me by competing with you. Like, that's the difference. That's how to create change, is to realize, like, yo, we don't have to compete with each other. We can actually work together and become abundant. Imagine that. We don't have to work so hard 6-7 days a week, 10 hours a day for what? There's plenty on this earth. We're not overpopulated. Do you know how much earth is untapped without humans on it? This is a big place. We can grow a lot of food and help each other. No one has to starve. No one has to go without. No one. But no one's talking about that. Everyone's talking about how Tom Hanks is a pedophile now. What the fuck? Feeding into it. Feeding into that mighty machine. It's like, how are you feeding yourself? Who are you letting feed you? Who's feeding your mind? And how much are you eating? How's your digestion, right? It's all food for the body. People forget energy is real, and it doesn't just matter about what we're eating or drinking. It's everything. The body records it all. Getting back to what's important. That's right, Candace, because that's what it's about. It's getting about helping each other out, sharing, not hoarding. We have this embedded survival instinct that has been happening for humans for as long as we've been here, I bet. And it's weird, because why are we surviving? Why do we have this survival thing? Is it the fear of death? That's the only real reason people fear, if you think about it. What are we fearing death for? We're not even living because of that fear. And then we're so scared to speak truth to each other because of the backlash we're going to get from the consciousness that isn't open to receive. I haven't been one to hide my emotions very much in my life, so I pissed a lot of people off. I also didn't know how to communicate it, so I pissed a lot of people off. And now I've learned to communicate better because I have a lot of truth to say. Because we all have the same truth. We all want love in our lives. We all want to be healthy and feel good in this body. You know what I mean? So people are like, Lori, stay in the light. Don't go to the dark. It's like, motherfucker, I am the dark. I am the light. You can't separate the two. Hot and cold are the same degree. There is no separation. It's just one moves into a different temperature than the other. It's the same. If we don't realize the dark, it's like, how can you move into more of a lighter feeling? Got to go deep. I go deep down the rabbit hole. I have no scarcity in me to go all the way. I like to be a clear channel, to be in resonance with myself. If something doesn't feel good, I reach in and pull it out. Like, I understand that not everybody's in that aspect. I get it. That's why I'm not judging anyone or placing any blame, because it's not anyone's fault. There's no need to feel shame and guilt. Sexuality is a huge part of this. Our sexuality, which is our creative flow, our power has been so suppressed for so long that it's caused us to not self-realize. And we're living in fear of words. Do you realize that we as humans fear words? We do. That's why we don't say them to other people, because then we're scared of their words. Like, what? Think about that. We fear a lack of scarcity of people. Like, if we tell someone the truth, we're scared they're going to leave or what they're going to do. Like, who cares? As long as you're displaying love, let people do whatever they want. There's 8 billion of us on this planet. We're not going to go without. It's the scarcity survival mentality that's got us all locked to our throat chakras because of the energy we've been receiving in our solar plexus this whole time. Got to purge that shit out. Purge. We don't have to be stuck. We don't have to treat each other like shit. We don't have to be... We can be compassionate. We can be loving and help each other out. And we don't have to hoard and have this scarcity of what's going on. Like this virus thing is a perfect indication. It showed them how humans would react. Hoarding everything from the stores. Can't even go get a bottle of rubbing alcohol for work or a roll of toilet paper for myself. It's like, wow. And then all the shelves are restocking here in Hawaii. It's like, it all goes and then it all just keeps coming. And it all just keeps coming. We're not going to go without. You have neighbors that have food. Like, we can share with each other. But we've forgotten that somehow. And that's okay. It's not anyone's fault. There's no shame or guilt around it. This ego to survive and to take and to hide and to deceit and to steal and to lie. Like, it doesn't feel good because it's not an authentic vibration. Like, literally, past the mind, past the human experience in the mind, listen to the body. If something doesn't feel good in your body, that's an indication. I've been through stages in my life where I've hoarded, where I felt scared that I wasn't going to have enough, a huge lack around money. Lots in my life. I didn't grow up with money. We grew up poor. We didn't have sodas and fast food and sweets. We had what we had to eat and that was it. Hand-me-downs of clothes to go to school, all that stuff, So it's like appreciation of what there is versus the need to compare to what someone else has got. Because that Rolls Royce that you want, what is that going to do for you? Make you feel good around other people? Okay. It's all good. Whatever makes people feel good. But at the end of the day, what feels good is that we understand each other. Do you know how good it feels to be understood by another human? Really good. That's why when we meet people who are open and can create this comfy space to be in, it's like, ooh, I like this person. They make me feel good. It's like, no, this is your reflection. I'm reflecting you. This is you, your energy. Or you get around somebody who's shitty and talks about everybody and gossips. Well, then that doesn't feel so good to be around that person. Like, literally, it's on a vibratory level. It's not anyone's fault. It's not. Because it all derives from a lack of love or wanting love in life. And that's what it all boils down to. It's all derived from love and the feeling of wanting to be appreciated and seen. We all want it. We do it as babies before we even speak. We seek that. So if we can just like open up and realize that that's what it is, then we can all come together to rejoice in that, right? It seems like it makes good sense to me. I don't know how many of you have traveled to other countries to see how other people live outside of America. It's very different. I spent almost a month in India in 2013, and it changed my life forever. You don't know what life is until you go live somewhere like that. All Mexico, in the Caribbean, so many places, so many people living in tin huts, battling the elements to live life, barely any food, barely any money. And it's like to see people, but like I said, it's not anyone's fault. Everything has been built and programmed the way that it is right now. And if it wasn't perfect, if it wasn't divine, it wouldn't be here. So it's like, yeah, it may not feel good, it may not look good, but everything has a purpose. So even if it's for us to take a look as the reflection within ourselves to see how we want to change things, instead of just like sitting at the TV waiting for them to tell us what to do next. It's a big project, I get it. It's overwhelming to think about changing the entire planet. So that's why it's important to work within the self. Power to the people begins within, as above, so below. You know, so it's like if we all work on ourselves and we all work in our communities to help each other, that's what spreads it out. That's how we heal. That's how we create what we want. Buy pieces of land and start communities. And that's what a lot of people here in Hawaii have done. A lot of people in other places too, Costa Rica and things like that. That's my vision. A healing center, a community where people can come and live off the land and fellowship and be with people that care. Support one another and our journeys in life. Instead of feeling like we're all doing this alone. Because we're not. We all feel the same way. We all want the same thing. At least it feels that way to me. I'm not trying to be wrong or right. Simply just sharing love. It's not about ego for me. I don't need to be wrong or right. I'm past that. It's about succeeding in health. Succeeding in happiness, succeeding in this body to have a good experience, to feel good in the molecular structure. Like it's all connected. So with that being said, I wanted to channel, I just like felt the shift. I want to channel for you and for me to just reassemble the flow and to allow what resonates to come to us, right? Like be open to receive love. It's one thing to give love. We can say, I love you, and we can give each other things, and we can do that, but how open are we to receive love from the outside, from ourselves? That's the key. That was one of the biggest parts of my awakening, was like, whoa, I've been over-giving a lot in my life, but I haven't been very open to receive. Not like I thought I was. So it's a process. So I invite you to be open to receive love so that we can share together to rebuild and restore the consciousness in our minds and in our bodies to connect and merge together so that we can create a different vibration. So I'm going to play a little music. I feel inspired by Shiva, So Om Namaha Shivaya, Om Namaha Shivaya, Om Namaha Shivaya. Okay, I'm gonna play. Okay, here we go. I want to change the song. Okay, let's try this one. Turn that down a little bit. That was really nice. I got to display a lot of different mudras during that one. That was great. Mudra is a very ancient form of communication. And it's also a super ancient, super important form of healing in the body. You study Chinese medicine, you study the meridian lines in the body, it's all attached to the fingers. So when you see people sit in meditation and they have their hands like this, that's not just for nothing. You know, like studying mudra, you start to understand how it activates the organs in the body due to these meridian lines. The energy work and the body work that I do, the sessions that I do, all of that is displayed. And I work with the pulses, the organs, the meridian lines to create stronger synergy. It's like my hands are magnets. They just automatically move in these forms, and they move and transform over the body. And so seeing them displayed, moving around, that's literally pulling energy, gravity, ions, electrons into these geometric shapes, which creates vortexes of energy. That's why a lot of you feel the work that when it's displayed, because we're transmuting, we're connecting this energy in the body. And it's heavily evolved around Kundalini, the chakras, the glands, the organs, the pulses. When I do body work on people, when I do sessions on people, I automatically feel for their pulses in certain areas of the body. And if I don't feel it, then I then use my Rolfing training, which is all channeled through. And I open up the tissue in those areas to create a stronger, more powerful pulse. And I do that through video sessions too, not just touching the body. So it's like quantum healing through this ancient language of mudra. It's really beautiful. It's a lesson of allowing. I opened up, and this is what's coming through me. I get to share these healing and energy modalities, and that's what happens when we move away from fear and deceit and embody love and compassion. Our true innate nature starts to come out. I wasn't doing this a few years ago. It's fascinating to see and watch. We all have so many amazing abilities, all derived from love. And so people ask me all the time, how do I activate? How do I do this? And how do I do that? And my answer is to love yourself. Love other people. Because that's where it comes from. It's like an amplified version of Reiki. Or not an amplified, it's a different version of Reiki. I channel Reiki too. But mudra is like different. It's like doing this really interesting magic. And I do it on myself and I do it on other people. And so that's why I like to get on and share it with you sometimes, because it's so powerful. And I've witnessed a lot of changes in myself and other people because of this energy work. Lisa said, you healed my side pain. Yes, girl, we got it out of there. I love it. Michelle says, combining, I don't know how to pronounce those words. Yep, codes of healing, that's right. Laura Nan says, I am proof of her work. Blessed be. Yes, sister, we've done some amazing things together. I love working with you guys, even on this, on a mass basis, because it's like all we need sometimes is a reflective reminder, right? Like there's plenty of different reflections in the world and all of that. So it's like, what kind of influence are we creating? That's what I think about. It's like, how can I use my love to be influential? Right? I mean, I feel like that's what makes good leaders, is by leading by example. And if we're leading by example and compassion and love, well, that's what we're going to get back. And if we're not, we don't. I mean, it all still comes through. Sometimes I, embark upon energies that don't feel good. And I'm like, why is this in my way right now? This is a vibration for me to reflect on within myself, versus pointing the finger at someone else that this person did this to me, or this person's talking to me this way. It's like, whoa, this person's showing up to remind me of something. And then I don't judge anyone, because I look at it all as a reflection of myself and how I can be a better human in my influence, because we're all being influenced every day by the signs on the side of the street, the commercials on the TV, the songs on the radio, the conversations we have for each other, the food that we eat is all influencing. So it's like, what kind of influence are we? I love helping people. I have been in the vibration of service my entire life. I used to go volunteer in nursing homes when I was in like middle school, so I could have peace not being in my house. That was part of it, but I enjoyed it. Like, those are the things I did when I was younger so that I could have peace. I surrounded myself with elders. Very interesting to look back on all of that. And if any of you guys want a session with me, or to talk, to share, to hold space, I'm using this time of lockdown to re-engage with people in an amplified way. And yes, I accept donations, and I do it for free too, because I feel like healing, there is no price tag. I mean, we still need to share and eat and take care of ourselves. And at the same time, it's like, how can I sit on all of these abilities and not do something? We all have that, and it's called love and compassion. And so I want to help. I've already got some things scheduled in the next week or two coming up, yet I'm leaving it open so that I can help other people and we can help each other, especially right now when there's a lot of fear going on out there and stuff like that. So just want to let everybody know that I care and I love you, and we're here to help each other the best way we can. I feel that. So enjoy the day. Bless it up out there. As much as we can. I love you to the moon. Thank you so much. I love you. I appreciate the real and the authenticity and the love that we're sharing and that we all have within ourselves, past the egoic need to compete or some dissonance in our cognitive abilities to relate to one another. Because if there's fighting going on, that's showing the illusion within the self, and it's being displayed through your reflection. So love the people that love you. They're in your presence for a reason. Aloha.